Okay, let me make sure I'm right in the right spot first before we get started. Give me just a minute. I think I'm live on my regular page. Come on. Come on. If you see this, am I in the group? Okay, yes I am. Woo! Thought I was just live on my business page. Okay. So bear with me, I have a cold. And I can blow my nose 100 times a minute. So, let me make sure all is well here. Yep, all good. Okay. If you're hopping on or you're watching the replay and you have questions as we go, feel free to ask them. If I need to slow down or you need to see something again, feel free to ask or say, because that's what this is for, is so you all can learn. Okay, this box, I thought some of y'all needed a little challenge. Some of you all have been doing some projects for a while, so this one is like leveled up a little bit. Okay, so this is what it turns out to be. So this holds your banner, and then this holds your pieces. I put this, or my husband put this one together to make sure it worked before we sent out boxes. So I'm going to do a different one so I can show you how to assemble, but this is what it turns out to be. And then plus the pieces, obviously. So this is interchangeable. Obviously you got the New Year set, but there'll be more sets if you did want to add, if you want to change out through the year. Okay, so the bench itself, I'm going to do first because we have to paint all the front sides and then let them dry, and then we have to paint all the back sides after the first sides have dried, so it's going to be a little bit of a process, so I'm going to start here first. I'm going to paint mine black, but you could stain yours, you could do it white, you could spray paint white, you could, if you have that option, or glaze it if you have leftover stain from other boxes, because I think it would take more than what I sent this month. But that's up to you. I'm going to do mine black. Make sure I got all my pieces first. Your box should have came with 2 bigger circles and 2 little circles. So don't lose those when you're opening your box and transitioning there. Oh, let me turn my voice down. It's weird. Okay. So you can do this a couple of different ways. I think the fastest way is going to be a thicker brush, but we'll see, because sometimes it can get globbed down the side. I'm going to try to keep this pretty quick just because, you know, I don't want to watch me paint this bench for 2 hours. I hope y'all can hear me okay. If anyone's on, will you let me know that you can hear me okay? Because I have machines going. So I just want to make sure that way if anybody's watching the replay or whatnot that y'all can hear me. And again, if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask. So when you're painting with a brush, I personally am a sponge painter just because it goes on smooth and I don't like brush marks. Some things I have to paint with a brush. Obviously, it's inevitable. I can't paint everything with a sponge, but I like how the sponge allows me to control the paint too so it doesn't go down the sides, but a brush, less is more. That way you don't glob it all down the sides. You can always add another coat. It makes it goes a good way, especially black. I hope, since my husband put the first bench together, that I tell y'all that I'm giving you a challenge, but maybe it's a challenge for me. Okay. Here's the first piece. I'm going to set it aside so it can dry. Cannot believe Christmas is like just a week or so away. Like, it is came so fast. I'm not ready. Not ready at all. And usually once I get it all painted, I'll go like back through the whole thing and just make sure it's even. But like even then, still there's like a little paint in those cracks. Not that you can't wipe it out or use a wet wiper or even let it dry that way. It just drives me nuts for some reason. But with, at least with black, you can't really tell. Okay. This ain't too bad. It's going pretty quick. I was trying to think about like where a cute spot would be for this. So definitely in my house I have some shelves on each side of my mantle, and I think it would be cute on a shelf like that. And then I was thinking it would be really cute in a kitchen, but not all of us have that much extra space to spare in a kitchen, because I mean it's pretty decent size. But if you could put it in a kitchen, it would be really cute. An entryway table would be cute. Alright. There's that piece. My daughter had a cold last week, so I don't ever get sick, ever. Not even a cold, and of course I got her cold. I'm like, man. And I mean, I feel fine, so at least I don't have like the flu or anything crazy, but just the congestion and the runny nose could be worse, I suppose. If you are watching the replay at some point or another, make sure you either comment or hashtag replay. This just helps to like keep the video up at the top for those that haven't watched it yet. Just make sure it's seen by people in the group. It's just helpful. This video is going to be good to reference for those that, when you go to put your bench together, because I have this feeling that we all may need to reference it. Okay, there's that piece. The pieces themselves that sit on the bench, there's not too much to it. It'll go pretty quick. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory. I forgot to mention what colors that I was going to do, but obviously it's pretty self-explanatory with New Year's that I'm going to do a black, a gold, a white, and some stain, some glaze stain, whatever. The stuff that comes in your box. Obviously you can do whatever you want. Those are New Year's colors to me. I'm going to use white, but I technically could have used silver also. Hi, I'm on a live.
Yeah, actually.
Yes. Do you need some? Do you need something?
No, I'll just come out there.
Okay, love you. Sorry. Just want to make sure she wasn't needing something. And then my dog's barking. Go back into my group. Okay. Alright. Can I help you? Do you need... Hi? Did you need something? No. Okay. 2 more pieces left. Actually, 2 more pieces in the circle. Yeah. Ew. That's gross, Fred. You need to quit doing that. Go clean that. You need to go clean that up.
It really doesn't get out when you wash it.
You know, if you're able, you could spray paint these too. I know, I swear by spray paint, but I'm just telling you all, if you have that capability, it's the way to go. I know it's not possible for everybody, but alright. Can you show me what it looks like? I thought it was right. Yes, Susan. I showed it at the beginning, but if you're just hopping on, hold on 1 second, I had a little spot there. This is what it looks like. So these circles on the front will hold your banner. It'll hang here. And then these hold your pieces. So they're like little slots. And then here's the side, top and back. I'm painting both sides of mine. I'm going to do black, but you can do stained, white, whatever matches your house. But that's what it'll look like when we're done. Hope that was helpful. Actually, my husband put that together just so we made sure that it worked before we sent the box out and that everything was good. So I haven't actually put one together myself, but it's helpful to... I know. You're welcome, Susan. No problem. Okay. There's that. And I put it on pretty thin. Like, it's pretty good coverage, the black, but it's pretty thin, so it won't take very long to dry. But either way, I have to do both sides, so that's why I wanted to do this first to get this drying. Alright, last big piece. And then we'll work on the pieces that go to it, and then come back to the other sides of these. I, a couple months back, had gotten a little bench from Hobby Lobby that I just love to put tier tray sets on, because it's just something different than a tier tray. Like, just something different way to set it up and a whole different vibe. So that's kind of what inspired this, because I just love my little bench. And this, I like that this has little things to hold the pieces, but you could very well put a tier tray set on there and just cover up the slats or the little slots for the pieces if you wanted to use like a whole set to something else. But it's just a cute little interchangeable. I'm gonna introduce it to like my regular people and just offer some interchangeable options. Obviously you guys get the exclusive New Year's set, but I was gonna do like a set for each season just to interchange it with. Just think it's a fun little, because I have a lot of people that love interchangeables, or they love things that they can change out with the seasons. So just figured it would be a cute, you all get the bench and the New Year's set, and then I'll offer the other interchangeables to everyone else. And then obviously if you guys wanted to add more to your bench, you could. Okay. Last piece. I'm going to paint these little circles, but I'm going to use a sponge for these. And then with these little circles, you only have to paint one side of these because they get glued on. So, no need to do the other side of those. You won't see it. The little ones you won't even see at all. So you really just need to paint the big ones. The little ones go behind the circle, the bigger circle. I got paint on me and everything. Alright. I'm gonna wipe my hands off a little bit and we'll start on these pieces. So I had to go ahead and spray some of my pieces white because you know I don't really use white. I spray paint white, so I went ahead and did my white. So those are already sprayed and I'll show you at the end. My gold pieces, my gold paint out of the bottle, I just don't like it. So I spray painted my gold pieces too because it's such better coverage. Like, see how it's kind of like shimmery gold and it's such good coverage. So I wanted to use my spray just because I like the way it looks. I have, hold on, I'll show you guys. I have this and it works pretty good. It just takes a lot of coats. And it's just very sheen, and it takes like, gotta let it dry, another one, let it dry, another one, and so I just decided I'd spray it. Okay, all of these pieces are gonna be black. So some of these I'm gonna do with the sponge, some of these I'm gonna do with the brush. So like these pieces, I can use a sponge pretty quickly. A lot of people don't realize that you can use them like a brush, like they glide across super easy. I mean, you can dab like this, of course, but I just glide it across like a paintbrush. And I know these banner pieces are black and the bench is black, but you'll see. It looks fine. But obviously feel free, if you want to do yours a different color, then obviously do what you think looks best. Okay. Let me make sure that I'm doing this. Yeah. Just want to make sure I have the right colors. Okay. I think it would really be cute on a stained bench too. Just all depends on what your house looks like. Okay, so these are super duper, pretty quick to paint. Okay, I've already got all 5 banner pieces. I kind of think I had originally, can't change my plan now. I'm going to stick with what I was going to do. I was about to change the colors, but so on the banner pieces I painted back. The background of this I'm going to paint black. The background of this is going to be black. And the top piece of this I'm going to paint black. Everything else is either stain, white, or gold. And again, if you don't want to use white, you want to use silver for New Year's colors, that's fine too. I just chose white. Or if you want to completely switch it up. I'd like to see somebody, if you do yours differently, I'd like to see when people choose to branch out. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Even the replay people. I want to make sure that you guys get your questions answered, or if you're not sure, or you want to know how to do something. That's what I'm here for. Alright. I think I'm going to paint these with brushes. That one piece needed another coat. And this piece. Sometimes I use the sponge too when I'm doing my glaze, and I'll just, or the stain, and I'll glide it. But if you do enough pieces, it'll start fraying at the end, and I'll just take a pair of scissors and trim off the edge of the sponge, and then just keep going. But these bigger pieces, it's just easier to do a brush. I just don't like brush lines, so I don't use a brush that much, but okay. I have the snifflies. It's really annoying. You have to like keep sniffling every 3 seconds. I never get a cold. I can't believe I got a cold this year. I just go through at the end and go like that just to smooth everything out at the very end. Okay. Set that over there. This black sure does make a mess. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna wipe my hands off a little bit. Then we're gonna switch glaze. What? Okay, move these out of the way, move these. I'm gonna make sure there's no wet paint right there so don't get on my pieces. Okay, these 2 pieces are the only ones I'm staining. I want to see someone do a bench that's stained. I really like seeing. See that glaze or that stain just like so easily spreads right on with sponge. Okay, on this hat piece, there's actually a piece that goes on top of the hat, so you don't really have to do that piece. Just make sure it's enough covered at the top that the piece can lay over it. Alright. Okay, so all the other pieces, I have all these are gold, all these are white. Obviously I'll show you as we go, but that's the rest of the pieces. Actually these balloons, I need to make the strings white on them, and then there's little lines on the hat, so I'm going to paint every other line white. So if you spray paint something, and as long as it's completely dry, you can paint over it. So I'm going to add a little white to these 2 pieces. And then I think everything's painted except for the back side of the bench. So not too bad. So it's going to come together pretty quick. Oh, the stain. Will you share a picture, please? Because I really want to see it in stain. My house is more like black, gray, white. I'm super neutral. Like, I love everything black, white, and gray. So the stain just doesn't go with anything in my house. But the stain is so neutral too for other people that it goes so well with everything. That's why I want to see it. Okay, so I just painted over the gold and made my little strings white. On the stripes of the hat, I think I might try a paint marker and see how the coverage is, but we'll see. Sometimes it can get like very streaky, like a bunch of lines, so sometimes you gotta test it out. But it seems to do okay. But obviously you can take a brush and do this if you want to make lines on yours. But there you go. I might put one more coat on that once it dries. But there's that. Okay, so now should I start putting the pieces together? I think I'm gonna flip these and do the dreaded second side, but it's the longest part. After that, it's assembly time. I just want to give this enough time to dry on the back side while I'm putting the pieces together, that we're not trying to put together a wet bench. Okay. The only thing that I dislike about the idea of the stain is that sometimes on the back side it doesn't cover these little char marks, but the back of the bench, as long as you're putting it up against something, you're not going to see the back anyways. Okay, that was the biggest piece for sure. One little swipe over, making sure it's even. Make sure there's nothing like that on the front. Okay. I guess technically this piece that goes on top that has the slats in it, you don't really need to paint the back side of this piece. I'm already doing it, so I'm gonna just keep going, but really it's just the bottom of the bench. So you're not really gonna see it, but I'm already painting it, so might as well. You could also, if you wanted to go a super quick route, you could put the whole bench together with the raw wood. And if you are spray painting, you could just spray paint the bench already put together and then let it dry. But I know not everybody can spray paint or has access to spray paint, but just an idea for those that do. I think that would be the way to go, to do the white, just because if you wanted a white bench, the white takes so many coats if you paint it. But if you put it together and spray painted it white, so much quicker and way better coverage. It's like no matter what white paint you get, white is never one coat. And I've tried all the whites, trust me. Okay. There's that one. Make sure the back side is okay. Push these over. I might try to paint 3 of these at once. Push them together like that. See if I can get them to stay. Definitely the most tedious part. And again, if you're putting your bench up against the back of something, you really don't have to do the back side. I would think the only part that you really would have to do the backs of would probably be maybe this inside right here, just because if you look at it from the side, you can see in. Other than that, you really don't have to paint the back side. I just think it gives it a more finished look in that way. No matter which way you're looking at it, it looks finished. Okay. Here's those pieces. Make sure the backs are good. Okay. These pieces, you definitely should paint both sides of these. Get some more paint. This makes a mess though, I'll tell you that. You definitely paint on something. I fair warned you. Stop. The doggy's whining at the door. He whines to get in, he whines to get out. Look at your dog. Okay. Make sure when you paint the back side that you flip it over and look at the front, because you don't want a glob of paint on the good side from where you painted the back. Alright, last two pieces, and then we're going to start assembling the inserts. Just hope this bench don't give me no trouble. You guys will have to see me fighting this bench. So there's these like pencil boxes that we make. They're like this. They have little dividers in them, and they have the teacher's name on the front where they can use them for their desk, like little organizers. But the outside's a pencil. And every time I have an order for one of them, I fight that thing every time. So I hope it doesn't give me any trouble like that thing does. Okay, use that piece. Make sure there's no blobs on the front. Okay. Last one. I hope I'm not flinging black paint on my gold pieces up here. I bet you guys, when you got your boxes, were like, what the heck is this thing? Can't tell what it is. You gotta trust the process. This week is like our busiest week of the whole year. We have to pull everything together this week. All the last minute orders, all the things that people need before Christmas. It all happens this week. It's going to be a lot of late nights. But I'm hoping to take a little time off after this week. Hopefully. can't tell, I go through a million baby wipes a day. Okay. Alright, there's that. I'm going to put one more coat on these stripes, and then we'll start putting it together. That looks better. A little brighter white. Okay, set that aside. Okay, first piece we're going to do, I just don't want to set this in this black. There's any wet. Okay, first thing we're going to do is this big piece. So this little thing is going to get glued on here. On the glue. Okay. Just make sure when you're putting this on that you're lining up your sides. Make sure you're all good on the top. And press down. That down. Alright, we're going to take your happy, which is white, glue that down. And then your balloons. And it's all engraved on there for you, so you ain't got to try to line anything up. And then New Year's, which mine are gold. I can't believe we're already to the end of the year. It's crazy how time flies by. Okay. Press that all down. I think there might be a squiggly that I need to add on right there, but I'm going to wait to the end to see how many squiggly thingies I have, or little ribbon things. So I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to do this piece next, the little hat. So I'm going to put the black piece on top. I'm going to do this part first and then line up the top piece, just because it kind of gives you a guideline of where that top piece needs to go once you get this on. Make sure your sides are all lined up. Press down. This piece. So my background's stained, my top piece is black, and then my little pom-pom at the top is gold. Now you're going to want to rotate this around and make sure you figure out the right way it goes first before you go gluing it down, because there is a right and a wrong way for it to line up. I think that would have been cute with the background of this white too, just to make it pop. But there's what that piece looks like. This piece is done. And then I'm going to do my circle next. I got paint everywhere. The ring, which is gold. It goes around the outside, obviously. Once you get it where it goes, make sure you press it down good. Celebrate, which is gold also. And it's all engraved in it, so you don't have to worry about lining it up. And then Let's is white. Okay, on this one, we're going to double up on the fireworks. So you're going to take your big firework first, which is white, for me at least. You'll glue that down, and there's engraved lines on there, so you can see which way it goes. You don't have to guess. And then we're going to take a little firework, which is gold, and put it on top of it. Hold on, I'm going to show you in just a minute. Like that. So it gives it that effect, like. So there's that, and then we're going to add some squigglies. Figure out what's what here. So it looks like there's 5 different squigglies. My nose is running. Okay, there's 2 gold that's going to go on this one and 1 white. So I'm going to put 1 at the top by Let's, and 1 in the bottom right corner, and then a white one on this side. Okay. So then it looks like that. Cute. Okay, so that piece is finished, and the hat's finished. And we're going to go back to this piece and add the squigglies to this. There should be a gold one and a white one. That's going to fill in that little gap there under happy. So that piece is done. So all we have left is the banner and then the bench. Okay. I think I forgot to add a star somewhere. Hold on. I did. On the hat, the star goes in the bottom right corner. Like that. Alright, now we're done with that piece. So now we just have banners. So this solid triangle and this triangle with holes, they go together. So the white piece with the holes goes on top of the gold solid piece. Okay. up. This has good. The fireworks, I believe we need to bake them on top of each other like that one piece. We do. Wait a minute. Okay, so don't listen to me. This was not supposed to go on top of it. Hold on. Do not do that. See, this is why I go first, so that you guys don't have to do this. These don't go on top of each other. I can't get mine apart now, so I gotta recut them and respray them. They go by themselves. Okay, fireworks. The little ones go on top of the big ones, like the other piece. I don't know why I thought that. Just had it in my brain that it went right on top there. Okay, now we're going to take our banner pieces. See which goes where. I just all laid out how I wanted it. Okay, the striped hat goes all the way to the right. And these pieces are going to hang off the banner a little bit. So, don't worry. Just know that it's all fine and dandy. I'll hold it up and show you once I get it glued down. See how it hangs off the top and the bottom a little tiny bit. And then I'm working, I guess, from the right to the left. Then a firework, and it is definitely going to hang off because it's way bigger. And the firework, and then the one with holes, and then a firework, and then the solid one goes all the way to the left. But obviously I have to recut mine. So don't do what I did. Because you know this glue, once it's down, it ain't coming apart. Okay, I'll have to go back and add mine. And these two little things go on top of each hat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and string it up, just because I can glue the pieces down afterwards. Now make sure that your string is long enough to go from, you actually may have to trim it. I always like to send you guys with more than what you need, so you can always trim it and make it shorter if you need to. Now since this hangs off the banner, you're going to have to go through the front, around the back. That way your string doesn't go over top of the piece. So through the front, through the back. Through the front, oh, I am following my own directions. Through the front, through the back. Okay. Now, with it being, I think this would look really pretty on a stained one. Now that I put mine together, I kind of wish I would have stained it. I guess I can stain the one that I have put together already and show you what it looks like both ways. Okay, so we got our banner put together. All the pieces are put together. So now I'm going to set this aside and put this bitch together so I can show you all how this goes. And I need to recut those. Alright, let me clean up my mess a little bit over here and give myself some room. Stand in the way. Sorry, I have to blow my nose on this video, but you guys don't want to see this. I'm running down my face. Okay, So we're going to start with the piece with the slats. Now you want to find, I got to tell which one's the front or back. I don't know if it really matters. I think I'm going to go with this being the front. So I'm going to flip it over. So this is the top. I'm going to flip it over and work on the bottom pieces first. I'm going to use this one as a little bit of a guideline here. Actually, we're not going to start with this piece. We're going to start with these and these. Okay, so the back ones obviously need to be faced in. So that's going to be inwards. And then we're going to take these ones and face them inwards. Okay, so you're going to take your corner, you're going to lock them together and make sure all is well. It should sit like that. And you want to add a little bit of glue where you see where the pieces meet. Now it's just going to take a little bit of patience. You're going to have to let them kind of sit and harden. Not completely, but enough where it will hold. Now you're going to take this side, do the same thing. Make sure this is right. Yep, it is. I still have a little tiny bit of wet paint on it. Okay. Do the same thing, add some glue. Put the little piece in there. Make sure it's tight and flat. And then let that kind of harden over there while you're trying to get my pieces like straight. And I'm going to work on this side before it gets where I can't move it. Alright, so now it's the inside piece. Make sure you got it the right way before you go putting glue on. Okay, now probably be easier just to glue them both at the same time. Just take your time on this part because you don't want to get glue everywhere. Okay. There's that piece. That wasn't so bad. I'm going to turn this piece without messing it up, hopefully. Make sure it's square. Okay. Now, I'm going to find the bottom side, which is this, and I'm going to glue this on here. I should probably wait a few minutes before I try to move it. My back piece. So, yeah. This actually isn't too bad. It looks harder than it is, I promise. It's not that bad. Oh, this cold's kicking my butt. Alright. See a little. Alright, I think it's pretty good. So now, I'm going to take it like that. Wow. I'm going to put glue around the rim of the whole thing. Less is more. Don't be gobbing it down the sides because you don't want to see all that glue. Just try to do a smooth, steady line where it gets all the surface but not down the sides. There you go. Flip it back. Now you're going to have to visually make sure that it's pretty center. So hover it above it, and then when you feel like it's center, drop it down. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but somewhat center. You don't want to be completely way off to the left or right. And then push down. It's not my day, y'all. I think I need to take some cold medicine and go to bed. That's not an option for the week before Christmas. It always happens at the worst times. You know how it goes. Okay. I'm going to set this aside and let it harden just a little bit while I work on the back. Okay, so this is the back piece. You can see, make sure I got which side I want to be the front and back. Okay, so the piece with the little tab at the bottom, that's the bottom. This is the top. Bottom, top. Okay, so you're going to lay your thing flat. You're going to take these pieces and you're going to run them along the line that's already there. So basically, you're just going to take 3 pieces and glue them to the back there to where they should hang off. But just try to make sure you know, make them somewhat even on each side. If you're just hopping on, this is what it should look like. Alright. And really, the best way to probably go about this is to glue onto this and not this, because you don't really need glue on the end pieces. So, I'm just going to have to eyeball it and just make sure there's the same amount on each side. Press down. Times 3. Okay. Move this out of the way so you can see. I know, Amanda. You wouldn't believe the amount of messages that we get because of the mail. This time of year, I try to be patient, but I feel like this year has probably been one of the worser years. I think it's like they don't have enough employees for the volume that they have this time of year. That's all I can think. I'm sure they don't. Huh? Yeah, and then they're not scanning it because they don't have time to scan everything. So then what happens is it will scan at the very first place that it's at, because we make our post office give us a receipt because we want them to scan it in, so it doesn't look like we're just holding on to it. And so it'll scan there, and then it goes through the whole, whichever other post office it hits, they're not scanning them in. They're just shuffling it off to the next place. So then there's no track of where it's at, what it's doing, and then all of a sudden it shows up. And then it will say delivered. So you don't get any of the process along the way. It's like they just don't have time to scan everything in right now because of the volume, and they're just sending everything through. But meanwhile, it's making everyone freak out. Oh! I see what you're saying. I read it wrong. That's okay. You can always go back and watch the replay. It's no big deal. Okay. So the back is done. And I think this should be hardened and dried. Okay. Here's the bottom. So on here, see how there's that long slit in the back? That's where the back of your bench is going to sit. So you take this piece, put a line of glue on the bottom. I'm going to turn this so I don't mess it up, where I can see it. to give this a minute to harden a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how to put the little holders on for the banner. And again, I'm going to repeat this for you, Amanda, because I don't know if you'll watch the replay or not, but this piece here is for the banner. I glued this circle piece onto the solid little party hat. Don't do that. Don't do that. They're separate. Don't glue these together. This is why I do these videos first, so you all don't have to mess yours up. Okay. Now all we have left is to glue the thing on that holds the banner. So I'm going to show it to you not in black so you can see a little better. But see how this little circle, it has a smaller circle than a bigger circle. Smaller circle than the big circle. And then that's just what you tie your banner around. And these will be like, your pieces will sit in these slots and then they become interchangeable. So at the beginning, you weren't here, but you guys get the bench and the New Year set, but I'm going to also add new sets to my website if you feel like you want to make it interchangeable or change out the seasons or whatever you want to do. This part, there's no real right or wrong on where you put it. I think what I'm going to do is go off of the little triangle line and just line it straight up from there. I'll show you once I get it on. The smaller circle doesn't need to be painted because it gets covered up. So I took the smaller circle and I just used this little line from this piece and just went straight above it just to give myself something to line it up on. So that's the smaller one. And then I'm going to take the bigger one and glue it on top there. And then it becomes the same color, obviously, as your bench, so you don't really see it. Just try to center your circle on top of the dot. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll put our pieces in there. You can see what it looks like. Finished product. I think so too. I got a bench a few months back, or actually like a year ago at Hobby Lobby, and I love the option of putting my tiered tray pieces on a bench versus just switching it up. And I mean, you could put a tiered tray set on here and switch it up too, but I just think it's something different and cute. Okay. Okay, so now let me make sure. So each piece has a little tab. You'll stick your tab, stick it in there, stick it in there, and when you put if you put a tiered tray pieces on here, you can just set them over the slats. You don't have to use them. And then your banner, don't mind my banner because it's missing two pieces that I glued together. And your banner will get tied around here and around here. And there you have it. The two little party hats will get added later. And really, you should not probably make your bench the same color as your banner pieces, but I didn't really think that part through either. But there you have it. And then you can change it out for whatever. I'm going to keep adding all year long. I'll add different little sets that you can change it out. Pretty cute. And I probably would cut these strings off once you get it, you know, where you want it. But I'm just showing y'all for display purposes. But again, the solid party hat and the dot, don't glue them together like I did. So the dot one will go in the middle, solid will go over here, and then they each get a little topper to it. But I showed that in their video, so you might have to go watch the replay and watch back a little bit. But I just wanted to warn you all, don't glue these together. Alright guys, that is it. I'm going to fix this piece that I messed up. And then I'll add it back, and then I will take pictures tomorrow and send them in the group so you can get a little better close-up picture. But it's super cute. I like that you can interchange it. If y'all have any questions while you're doing your box or while you're watching the replay, always put them down. I always go back and check messages. And that's it. Until next month. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Have a good night, guys.